Alright everyone, you guys loved top 10 horror games. The first one, we are going to do the top 10 multiplayer horror games, where being very scary helps, but we're going to rate them more in their multiplayer aspect, meaning games that are not multiplayer will not be on this list. Single player games are not on this list, only multiplayer games you can play with friends. We have a whole bunch. I played a ton of games to get prepped up for this video, so yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Sit back, relax, and enjoy, and we'll start off without wasting your guys' time. Here we go. At number 10 is The Forest. Now, The Forest, I really like this. I played this with some of my viewers on stream, which I really enjoy. This game is very scary, but the multiplayer aspect of the game is very good. You can play to up to 4 people, I think, in most lobbies, and I think you can also play this solo as well. But for the multiplayer aspect, it's really good and really team dependent. I really like this game. I'm going to rate it 8 out of 10 for how scary it is. An 8 out of 10 for the multiplayer aspect. And for the story, we'll also rate on the story as well. I'll give it an 8 out of 10 as well. This game does really well on all the numbers. Overall, I'm going to get it an 8 out of 10. I really like this game. I enjoy playing with my viewers. It's definitely one to check out. So yeah, I really like The Forest. And I'm putting it in my number 10 spot. Alright, the next game that we have right here is called Dark Wood. Now, Dark Wood is really high on the multiplayer aspect because your team is literally everything in this game. It doesn't really have a story to it, and it doesn't really scare me that much compared to other games, but the multiplayer aspect of this is really good. It's scary enough to call it a horror game, but it's still a fun game to play with your friends. There's some game modes where you can infect your friends and they will become the monster with you, like this right here, except this part right here is not the infection game mode. So you can pick from different game modes to play from, and the infection game mode, if you're the monster, you can infect other people to become the monster, and you have to try to stay alive. It is a really fun game to play with your friends. I'm gonna rate it a 10 out of 10 on the multiplayer aspect. I'm going to rate it a 6 out of 10 on how scary it is, and a 5 out of 10 on the story. Overall, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 because this is a multiplayer horror game video. Dark Wood is definitely an excellent game that you guys should check out. All links to this game will be in the description from my mod, Mr. Nexus. So go check out the links from this game. This game is called Dark Wood. Definitely check it out. A fun horror game to play with your friends. Coming up at number 8, we have Geisha. Now, Geisha can be played with 4 different players. It has a really good multiplayer aspect of the game. It has a decent multiplayer aspect, but this game is a very scary horror game. For my opinion, the actual jump scares are not that scary, but the dolls that are chasing around like here are super scary and intense. But when it comes to the actual jump scare, it's not too bad. Super scary game, but it's a short game. It has a really good story. I definitely recommend go playing with your friends. For scary, I know this can be a controversial opinion. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 on how scary it was, because the thing chasing me really scared me, but the actual jump scare didn't. I'm going to give it also about 7 out of 10 on the story, and the multiplayer aspect, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. This game is definitely a cool one to check out. I definitely recommend checking it out if you like very scary horror games to play with your friends. And yeah, overall, I'm going to give it another 8 out of 10. Next up is Dark Smiles. Now, I absolutely love Dark Smiles. I had a blast playing this as Nexus. If you like Dark Smiles, go check out our video of me playing as Nexus. It's a 26-minute long video, really well edited. You guys will like it if you guys like Dark Smiles. But this game is extremely fun to play with friends. Now, playing with Nexus was really fun. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. On the multiplayer aspect. We didn't get I got jump scared too much, but Next didn't get jump scared too much, but the jump scares are repetitive, but they're still pretty scary and constant. So I'm going to give the jump scares an 8 out of 10. I am also going to rate the story very low, like a 3 out of 10, because I don't even know there is a story to this. I never heard of a story about this. There might be, correct me if I'm wrong, there might be a story to this, but yeah, I'm going to give it an overall, again, 8 out of 10 to 7 out of 10, but I really like this. I'm rating this higher because it is really high on multiplayer. I'm going to be rating games that are really good on multiplayer higher than games that are scary. But I need to make sure they're a little bit scary. I'm going to try to find that line between scary and multiplayer. But I'm going to overall rate this an 8 out of 10. Next up is Specter. Now, Specter is a really good game. Now, I'm also going to add on this list Paranormica, but I only wanted to add one. So, Paranormica and Specter are both really good games that I enjoy. I feel like Specter updates more and has a lot more maps and a lot more depth to the game. I really like this game. It's 4 players to join. You can create private matches. Super easy to play with viewers. That's why I'm rating it a 9 out of 10 for the multiplayer aspect. The story can be really good. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 for the story. And how scary it is can depend on what the difficulty you put it on. For scary though, I'm going to rate it an average 7 out of 10. Overall, I know I'm giving a lot against this, but I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Overall, 8 out of 10. Solid 8 out of 10. Really good game. Go check it out with your friends. It's really good. Next up, we have The Darkness Beyond. Now we're getting into some serious multiplayer games. This one is very unknown, I find. It's very underrated, and it should be looked at more. It's super fun to play with friends. Absolutely had a blast playing with my viewers playing this. You basically just gotta shut windows before the monster comes in, and it takes a ton of coordination, because if not every one of your friends or random people are doing their job, you will die. So it takes a ton of coordination. The jump scares have left me in nightmares a ton of times. I get so scared by some of them. We just don't die. Let's see. And the story, there's no story to it. I never heard a story to it. There's a little bit of a cutscene in it, but I never really heard a story of it. The multiplayer aspect of the game is really, really, really good. I definitely recommend you guys checking it out with your friends. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 for a multiplayer aspect, a 9 out of 10 for how scary it is, and a 3 out of 10 for the story. Overall, 9 out of 10. Really good game. Alright, next up is 3 Nightmares. But before we get into it, make sure you guys are already subbed. Make sure that sub button is already clicked on. And if you want, you can turn on notification. It really helps the channel out. But no, the next one is 3 Nightmares. This game right here is intensely scary. And it's multiplayer. Very intensely scary. I actually thought there's someone knocking on my window because of the effects on some of this game. It is super scary. And if you want to scream with your friends, yeah, this is the one right here. I'm going to rate it a 9 out of 10 for multiplayer, 10 out of 10 for scary, and a 5 out of 10 for story. Overall, 9 out of 10. This is a really good game, 3 Nightmares. I really, really like them. Be playing this more on stream sometimes. So yeah, definitely come check that out. But yeah, this is definitely a really, really cool game. At number 3, we have The Maze. Now, The Maze is very good. Very, very good for multiplayer. It can fit up to like 20 people, I think. It's very good if you have a ton of friends who want to play with. It has a decent story, and the jump scares are very scary. You have no idea what to expect in this game. What can I say? But it's a very good game to play with your friends. Now, the jump scares are really scary. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 for scary, 10 out of 10 for multiplayer, and I'm also going to give it a 6 out of 10 for story. It has a decent story. I don't mind it. It's still good, though. Definitely a game you guys should definitely check out, and I'm proud to call it my number 3 game on the multiplayer list. Coming up at number 2, we have Dead Silence. Now, this game is very good with this multiplayer aspect. Very fun game. It's very short, but it has a good story, and it's very good on multiplayer, and it's very scary. 9 out of 10 for how scary it is. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 for multiplayer as well, as it does that perfectly, and an 8 out of 10 for the story. So, overall, I'm going to give this a high rate. It's going to get a high rating of overall 9 out of 10. Very, very good game. I definitely recommend you guys go check it out. Wish your friends. Very, very fun. Overall, 9 out of 10. I think that's a pretty good rating for this, and yeah. Alright, before we get on to the last one, make sure you guys all subscribe, hit that like button, do all that good stuff, comment down below what you think should have been added here, join our Discord, buy our Roblox merch, and yeah, don't forget to subscribe, do all that cool stuff to get notified when my videos come out. Alright, here we go. At number 1, we have, this was on the last video as well, The Mimic. There's no way I couldn't put The Mimic at the #1 spot. It has one of the greatest stories I've ever seen for a Roblox horror game. The multiplayer aspect, even with the new Witch Trials, gives you a 10-player mode, 4-player mode, and you can even create your own game so random people can't join. The multiplayer aspect of it is very team building with the new Witch Trials, as one person can go get one of the skulls and blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. So the multiplayer is very, very good. This might be the only game for multiplayer that I'm gonna rate all 10 out of 10. So multiplayer is 10 out of 10, the story is 10 out of 10, and how scary it is 10 out of 10. I'm definitely confident of putting that at my #1 spot. I've had so much fun. I've played 10-20 hours like a week or two on stream all the time, so if you like The Mimic, definitely come check that out. But yeah, that is my top 10 list. If you disagree with me, put down what you think I should have put down in the comment section down below. I try my best to give you some new horror games as well, not just ones I know you guys have already played, to try to give you guys something interesting to play on. And maybe we'll make like an unknown horror game, something like that series. It just does really well. But yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Thank you guys all for watching. And I'll see you guys all next time. Peace out. If you're interested in some single-player games, we made a top 10 just regular horror games where we rate them on all the single-player stuff for here. So if you like that, click up here. Go check that out. It's another cool video with some different horror games. Some of the same, but a lot of different horror games to check out.